All right, well, we're gonna mount this on the old truck. We're gonna mount this guy about right here on this rail. We got to connect those two, and then return and supply up front using flex, and then connect the return there and the supply back yonder, and then oil, and that should be all of our braided lines. So that's what we're gonna get at. Here we go. Alrighty, a couple of nutserts. Took this bar off with these bolts. A couple nutserts in there. Hold that guy. I will upgrade this later, but kind of on a time crunch to get there. But I want these to be both supported. But these are loose, so I can move it back and forth. But I got this first line done, and it turned out pretty nice. Everything's loose. I'll go back and tighten everything from end to end. That way I won't miss nothing. But if I got to change something around, I can. Anyway, that one's done. So now I've got an end on the return line, and I've got an end on the supply line. So what we're going to do is put it up on the lift and route those cables in, terminate them down there, and then cut them to length, probably pull them down, and then work on them underneath the truck, and then plug them back in. Yeah, then we'll work on oil. We'll see what we can do. All right, well, I was noticing I had some brake fluid here, so went in and did this brake cylinder, and they gave me the wrong side, so I'm like, well, I'll check, and sure enough this cylinder was leaking too, so started doing these brakes. Got the gas tank, we're airing it out, letting it dry out completely. It had nothing in it, but it had some dust and stuff. I pulled out the baffle, because I noticed the last time I changed the filter it had a bunch of little stuff in it. I don't know if this is ethanol rated. It's a really old fuel cell. So I pulled that garbage out. Hopefully it won't, won't make a difference. Then we got the intake manifold off because I'm trying to route the hoses and get ready to lay the wiring in. Can't remember, but I got the oil and fuel complete. I got the water. I had to make hoses because 351 with this move back, all different. So bottom and top hoses are made, and we're waiting on an O-ring for the oil down there, and then we can put oil in, and it should be able to turn it over. We got a new starting solenoid. Found some old wiring. This is old wire that was on the truck. This is an old wire that was going down to the starter. Starter's installed, so just making a whole bunch of little progress. We got an appointment for the 20th of September for tuning, so kind of on a timeline now. But yeah, just poking on a whole bunch of different things as we go, and the old yellow truck is coming along. Hopefully we'll be ready on the 20th. I got a gasket for this also, and I did a little bit of, I don't know if you can see that, did a little bit of polishing on that to kind of bring it back around, just because I had some 5 minutes to waste. Added a plug here, didn't realize there was a hole there until I took it off and saw it. So this is the O-ring we're waiting on, and goes in here. It's not the same size as an oil filter, in case you're wondering. Oil filter ones are a lot wider and they're square. This is actually an O-ring. And then this O-ring, found the right one in the Harbor Freight kit, so didn't have to order the special one. Ford doesn't carry these anymore, so you have to look online. The thing I ordered has 10 of them, so hey, reach out if you need one. Got some stock copper AC Delco plugs. They're tapered seat. I think they're 43 TS. We usually do the R45 TS, but 43. Got oil filter for going, and oil. That's just braking oil, not braking oil, but just oil. We'll run it and then change it, and then go to the dyno with fresh 2050. I think we'll run, I don't know, whatever the thing said. I might run 1040, whatever. So I got two lines I'm going to run to this guy. They go from there and there. I'll run them over to this, but I'm going to run them underneath and around and back. So another reason why that's off. Get those routed in there nice and clean. And yeah, just little stuff, and it's all little stuff. Then it's going to be wiring, and I'm not going to do an anal job with the wiring because I've never put a Haltech in, so I'm probably going to leave all the slack in the cab, kind of like what I do with the Mustang. And then as we need to make changes, I'll do that, and then probably next year go back in, clean up everything, make it perfect, get a repin kit. I'm going to use, you know, whatever I got now, and then maybe I'll finalize it later. I also might make some changes because this is a proof of concept, so I might change out that stock upper intake for a single throttle body aftermarket unit, and you know, kind of clean it up because it does look kind of messy with this Y pipe and all this stuff on there. The other thing I have to do is put my blow-off valve on. I have it, I just got to put it on. I forgot to do that when I didn't get around to it. So we'll see. Get that on, and this is a fuel pressure regulator, but I don't know if it's applicable to this non factory fuel pressure. If I got to buy new deals there, new fuel rails. We'll see when I go to the tuner. If he says, hey, you're not making enough fuel pressure with the 7 or 10 pounds of boost, and we can't make that work with vacuum, then yeah, we'll have to make a change. But that's kind of why I want to go to the tuner, so we can make it all work. Anyway, we're going to finish up those brakes today, and that'll be all for today. It's a regular work day, so I only get about an hour out here every day, and then Friday we're going to start banging on it even harder. All right, just been poking along doing miscellaneous stuff. Every little hour spent is an hour saved. But got an oil cooler. It was silver, I painted it black. Got AN fittings going out, so they're going to come over and down and go to this guy here. Pretty straightforward. Of course, got the intercooler and the radiator there, and then this is the transcooler. I did a standoff kind of mount here, and then here. I had to take the grill off, but we're going to replace the grill anyway, and I got to take this fender off, so it was time to do it. I will have to trim the grill because it has a lip that comes down all the way over, and I'll have to trim where these bolts are so it'll sit flush. Other than that, I think that's about all the work I have to do there. I'm going to do I can do my oil lines tonight. I need to get some fittings for the trans. They're a little different, and plus on the transmission I have some old fittings that I use for painting it. I need to get those. So these go into the cooler, these go into the transmission, so I need to get something. I don't know if I'm going to run AN or not. Probably, if I can find them. I think they're the same as like that. It's a 4 maybe? Yeah, 4. I think I have some parts here that are similar, so I'll look up this part number and see if it fits, and then I'll order the parts and then go from there. Anyway, mounting is the first point. So got the mounting done. I'll run these guys tonight, and then we'll figure out the transmission. And then get that fender off is the next thing. Put the new fender on. I got another grill. This one's not too bad, but I got a really nice one in the back, so we'll get the really nice one put on, and the fender, so that we can see it all together. I'll clean this front end up too, so yeah, I'll keep you up to date. Anyway, that's where we're at. All right, barbecue and stove paint to the rescue once again. This is getting some surface rust on it, so I just sanded it down and sprayed it. We're gonna get that installed. I went ahead last night and sprayed this guy with Rust-Oleum, and then the backside with this. So I sprayed the backside, let it set for a few minutes, then sprayed that. I found my U-joint doodles, and also, once I get this in, I'm gonna set her back down on the ground, and you can see this fender is about a 1/2 inch out. Even though this is a Taiwan fender, Certifit, sorry. I think that when that accident happened, it pushed us back. So we're going to try and hook it up to the Jeep there and pull it, just give it a little tug, see if we can get that 1/2 inch back. So I'm gonna just swing the fender out, put a board across these two, I think, are in the same plane. Does that make sense? This one and this one, board, something, I don't know, I'll figure it out. Then pull it through and just see if it can correct some of that. We'll see. Then we'll get that bolted on and then start doing exhaust. We gotta get our downpipes done, and then we'll be ready to throw some wiring on. And I think my newer injectors, so the tuner said I upgraded from 19-pound injectors to 30-pound injectors, and I asked him if that was going to be enough or should I go to 42, and he said 42 would be a good idea just to have some headroom, because it does have a flex fuel sensor, and if we run into any ethanol gas along the way and put it in there, it might need that extra headroom. So we'll see if yeah, well, we won't see. We're going to put them in, and that's going to be the way it is. All right, well, let's get to work. All right, got the drive line in. Remember that painted. Started on the down pipes. These things are killing me, man. I'd be a good welder if I welded more than once every year. But I got the oxygen sensor bungs in. This is for the passenger side, and it's going to go down. Then I just got to tie it into the existing 3-inch stuff. And then here's the driver's side. I got a little bit better over here. Blew through it there, but yeah, ran out of gas. So yeah, as typical, running out of gas when you're welding. Yep, so I'll get those guys clamped in, get this guy up on the lift, and start tying them in. I was gonna do the turnouts, but I don't think I have time for that, because that's ball and socket. I gotta cut those off, add that piece. You see, I was looking at it, and then clamp it to the smaller stuff. Those are the wrong size. I think those are 2 1/4. This is 2 1/2. So I think I got to get some 2 1/2 to 3-inch, or 2 1/2 to 3 1/2 inch, whatever that is. We'll see. We'll see what we can do. But underneath is next. So keep up plugging away, trying to get the exhaust done this weekend. So I got tomorrow still, and then I got the new injectors in. I got 42-pound injectors. They came in today. So we'll throw those in. And then I can put the intake manifold, or I'm sorry, I'll be ready for wiring. Once the injectors get in, then everything starts to be buttoned up. So, yeah, keep plugging away. All right, got this guy trimmed and this guy trimmed, so we can, and these welded on. They can slip up in here. It's kind of heavy, big, but they can slip up in here, in and out without problems. And then these down pipes are here and there. So this one I got to cut back here and then kind of, whoopsies, light fell, and then kind of come out over here and then line up. So I'm going to put these, support these up in the deal, let these down, take the pipes down, do some modifications to them to get them farther down, and then put it back up on the rack. So it's a, look at that, it's pretty cool, 3-inch. It was on the truck. I had it put on the truck back when I did a 408 natural aspirated with some nitrous. So this truck's been cool before. It'll be cool again with the turbos. But the downspouts, I'm going to put not right now, but maybe down cruising the coast to plus mess around. I might put the electric cutouts on so that I can shut them on and off from in the car. I put them on the Mustang and it was pretty cool, the black one. But anyway, just doing some more fabrication and trying to get the exhaust completely complete. I am 1 day behind schedule right now, mostly because of this silly Jeep. Anyway, that's that. I'll keep you up to date. Well, I got the driver's side is already in and bolted up, and then I realized, oh, I should probably take a video, but down to the collector and then all the way up to the turbo. So yeah, this guy's already done. I'm just gonna tape it off and paint it because that's regular and that's stainless. Only so much you can do because I have existing mild steel 3-inch, so that's what I'm tying into. But yeah, that will be, as soon as I get that painted with the barbecue paint, that will be the end of the exhaust, all completed. And then tomorrow we can actually start on the wiring, which is what we were supposed to be doing all day today. So we're 1 day behind, but we've got a whole week or 6 days now to do wiring and hear it turn over on its own and pump gas and all that. So I'm gonna get this guy put in or painted and put in, and that's gonna be it for the night. All right, guys, bye. All right, exhaust done. I went ahead and screwed in those oxygen sensors. The next step for me is going to be swapping out the injectors, putting in the fuel pressure switch and the oil pressure switch down there. I might go without an oil pressure gauge in my dash until I can figure out how to tee that off. I don't have a lot of time to do some thought processing. Then I started on the wiring. So I've got this from the original harness from the van. It goes to the alternator over to here. I got to remember how to wire these two guys so that it energizes only when it's hot. I think that's a keyed on only running thing, but we'll make sure we get it right. Then we took the factory harness from that motor and labeled everything, all the connectors that we want to keep, and then stripped all of the sheathing off so that I could just get the wires for that. And there's the sheathing. And then extra wires that aren't going to be used. There's some vacuum control and air conditioner and some other stuff that came out, quite a few wires. So we just got injectors, idle air control, distributor, a water temp for both the gauge and the computer. Yeah, all of the coil, all of that stuff. So the next step is once I get these guys swapped out, the injector swapped out, I can then start wiring that and pulling it back. I was going to pull everything inside the cab, but man, what a struggle, and I can't figure out why. So this goes to the fuel pump, and this goes to the fan. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to mount the stuff right here. The Haltech is waterproof, and this thing I think is also waterproof. It's got Deutsch connectors on it. That's for the widebands. This is the only thing I think is not waterproof, but I'm not planning on driving in like hurricanes, so I think I'll mount the electric box here, and then the Haltech maybe here, and then the wideband there, and that'll allow. And then of course there's a fuse panel box. Where's that? Oh, right under here. Fuse panel box that I'll mount also up on the side, so I keep more water out of most of it. And then all the wiring will be in the engine compartment, except for keyed on and starting. I think that's all. And then a couple wires going into the gauges from the water temp and to the oil temp. And I think that's all. Oh, I'll have a wire going in for the tack. And that'll be it. So 3 wires going in, that's not bad. And then everything else will stay out here. I think that'll be just fine. Anyway, that's where we're at. It is, 6 days. Oh, I'm sorry, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I got 4 days to work on this. So let's hope I can get it done. I might have to call and move the date. I hope not, because got to have it running. We'll keep plugging away. All right, 42-pound injectors installed. Then since I had the fuel rail off, I went ahead and blew out I disconnected the fuel lines, returned the source from the fuel cell. I blew them out to make sure there was no contaminants in there. I also cleaned the fuel rail one more time. It was clean when I put it on. Then I put some fuel in the fuel cell and rinsed it out. So it's as clean as it's gonna get. I got the filter, the AEM filter, and the AM pump all there, but I tightened all of the lines for all of the fuel. So it's ready to be pressurized and see which connectors I messed up and which ones I didn't tighten tight enough, of course. The vent, the PCV vent is all tightened. I just have to do the oil. Unfortunately, I'm not sure if I'm going to get the line. I'm short this. I ordered 10 more foot of this line. I got the ends. I just got like a 4-foot section. So I might put a temporary hose on there. I've got some, but I'm holding out Friday at 1. So if I can make one line and put it on there, then I'll go through all the oil lines. Or I might go all through all the oil lines first and then just have that one to do. Anyway, next step is start laying the wiring on, I think. Oh, I got that's also I got the fuel sensor in. It's an aftermarket sensor. And then I've got another one down here for oil. It's down there. I'm gonna pull that out. I think I put a T in there so I can still have the oil gauge. And then, but for right now, I'm just gonna put the sensor in. I believe it's right here. They are. I don't know. I can't remember the name of it. Clean induction. Yeah. I labeled them because each one is tuned. And they give you the breakdown of what the voltage is for each pressure, so you can input that into the Haltech and it'll read correctly. Anyway, so next thing is I'll put that oil sensor in, I believe, and then lay some wires on. Got these all laid out, so I can get the sensor in and then these wires on, and then maybe try to mount this equipment over here. I got to figure out where to mount it, and that should be enough for tonight. But that's our goal. All right, let's see what we get. Got the Haltech powered up. Got my battery voltage and crank ignition angle because I need to set that at 30 and lock it and stuff. Yeah, I'm just messing around. I just got this loaded up. Wideband dual channels working, which is a CAN connection. It was kind of weird. Got a bunch of wiring done last night. Just got to terminate these guys. It looks worse than it is. We'll get her done. Do my best to get it done today. We got the dyno tomorrow, so with the computer on I can actually check sensors and do throttle position sensor and stuff, make sure they're working. Got this guy terminated, but I need to look at the Mustang for these. I took that off so I could do some testing. I ran two 10 gauge through the front channel here and brought them out so I can run one specifically for the ECU and this first relay, and then the second relay. The second one is going to be for all the other relays, and then the main power. So fan and ignition box, I believe, is what we're going to do. Fan and ignition box is the only two relays we're going to add. So there'll be two power wires off of that, which is fine. It's 10 gauge, it'll handle it. Yeah, and then the rest of the wiring. I also got my hose for that. Got that done last night. So oil system is tight underneath. I just got to do the two lines on both the turbos. Yeah, still got a bunch of work to do, but we're making it, man. Push, push, push. Hopefully we're good to go for tomorrow. If not, then I'll have to get up. Well, I'll stay up late tonight and get it to where at the bare minimum, and then we'll see what we can do. Well, my goodness, what a day. This is where we're stopping. I ain't got no more in me tonight. Still got to look on the Mustang to figure out which one of these goes to keyed and one goes to hot when running. But we got that stuff terminated. It's still kind of messy because I'm not sure that everything's the way it is, so I left all the slack in, and I can come back and trim those and make it nice and then loom it. But I want to make sure it works. These things, I was running out of time, but I needed to get stuff working, so this guy is wired direct to key on here and power, no relay, and the fan is wired. The ground is ground, but if we get the car running, I can hook this up and just run the fan manually. It's not even connected to the system yet. That's how much time I ran out of. You notice there's no vacuum lines and there's still no clamps. So I'm gonna work with just getting it running, and then if we can get it running, then we'll move forward with getting boost and stuff regulated. I've got a bunch of vacuum lines. All the vacuum lines haven't been done, so all the vacuum caps. I have no throttle cable right now. No spark plugs in it. It's reference, I can't remember what it's called. Phased. So the rotors are set at 30 degrees, top dead center. So you lock that out basically, and then you control it with the deal. But I don't know how to do all that. I just know you're supposed to do it. Anyway, spark plugs. I did cycle the fuel pump enough to get all the bubbles out of the system. It doesn't build any pressure really, because it builds whatever the pressure that regulator's at, which I think is 45 pounds. Right there, factory stock one. So there's that. Oh, I didn't even check it to see if it had pressure up here. Yeah, it just wore out, man. It's a lot of wiring, a lot of sitting there looking at charts and stuff, figuring out where stuff goes. It is not easy, and the Haltech's directions weren't as clear as I'd hoped. There's some wires in here that if I'd known they were there, it would have made my life easier, but they bundled them in this DPI. I think it was no, I'm sorry, this DP0, and so I ended up running a bunch of hot wires that I didn't need to run, but it all came together, I think. I'm not getting spark. Either my box is bad, which it was working last time this car was running, or I have something set up wrong. So I'm waiting to hear back from the tuner to see if he wants me to bring it in non-running, or have, you know, give me some advice on how to make it run. I thought that it would be fairly simple to hook up. I might end up having to get a different distributor because this wiring, I'm relying on research that I did, and I'm hoping that it's right. If not, I might just get an MSD distributor and throw in there, and then I can use the different stuff to make it work better. Because then it yeah. Anyway, you can tell I'm tired. So there we have it. I think everything's wired except for that, for running tomorrow, and that's no big deal because I got the battery charger on charge. I can make it charge if I have to. So if he tells me, yeah, go ahead and bring it, it's at 1 o'clock, throw some spark plugs in it, I'll hook those wires up, and then we'll be good to go, and we'll see what happens. All right, just let you guys know. Oh my goodness, I guess the last section I was just saying probably sounded pretty bad. I was very tired. I was exhausted of this thing. Long hard day. Anyway, slept on it, got up. First thing I did this morning is updated software and firmwares. I don't know if that made a huge difference in general, but I went from the ESP to the Nexus software. Well, Nexus has this tab in it, and I don't know if you can be able to see it, but it says diagnostics, and that tells you all your voltages and everything, and it makes a huge difference as opposed to the chart that I was looking at before. And that's with wires. I still can't get the intake air temperature, idle air temperature, intake air, the coolant temp and the air temp sensor to work like they should. I think there's a table or something that needs to be modified, because there's only 2 wires that come from the coolant temp. It's only 2 wires, and coolant temp is 2 wires. I mean, it's hard to mess up, and it's got the right wires going in the right place. They're just not reading right. So I think there's a table that needs to be modified that I'm not verbose enough in that thing. Whatever. Next thing I did was recheck the timing, and I had it 180 out. I made sure that the distributor was connected to the home wire. I'm sorry, the trigger wire, not the home wire, which is one mistake I made, which I wasn't getting spark. Now I'm turning it over, I'm getting spark. I verified this. I had it 180 out, so I got it at 30 and locked. And there's some stuff that the tuner's gonna have to do in there to tell the computer to make the changes from 30. What else? Got oil in it. Add the dipstick. Put these vent tubes on. I think it's time to give it a final. I mean, I got spark. I got all my spark plug wires, spark plugs in, all my settings. I think it's time to give it a go. So here we go. I got the Lone Wolf 3000. If anybody gets that reference, hooked up. Let me make sure my battery charger's on. And yep, on. So I got to turn the key on. It's off. Yep, key's off. Key on. I got the Lone Wolf hooked up because here's the front priming. Yeah, I don't know if you can hear that or not. Because it's easier to do by myself. Oh, here we go. Throttle's closed. I got no water in it yet, so if it starts, then I'm gonna have to shut it off fairly quick. Yep. Yep, look at that. Oh my. Yeah, coolant temp is bad. Stop vacuum, 9 liter vacuum, 1000 RPM. Battery voltage is 12. I don't have the alternator hooked up yet. Yeah. Okay, green fuel pump. I got some DTCs, those are related to my code, so I'm gonna shut it off real quick. Yeah, buddy. Oh, I forgot about that. I got these wires just dangling from troubleshooting. Woo. Okay, it's not too hot. Okay, good. Didn't run long enough. All right. Well, there you go. I'm very excited. Very excited. So the next step is I'm gonna tidy up those wires, get those out of the way. I'm gonna leave them a mess for the tuner so that I can make changes if I need to on there. Yeah. I'll add some coolant. I'm excited. I'm gonna add some coolant and hook up the boost pipes and just see if I'm registering boost. Yeah, and I think I can take the Lone Wolf off now. Yeah, and I'll do the alternating wiring too while I'm at it. All right, a little bit more work, and we'll see what we can do. See if we can make some boost. All right, time to work on that throttle cable. I got it disassembled. I did a little bit. I trimmed this stop where it hits here for travel. Put this guy up here, so we're gonna got it connected. What I have to do now is they didn't have the proper cable in stock that has this connector, which is a slot, and then it's got a tab that holds it in. So what I got to do is convert it to just a square that's got these notches on it. So I'm just going to do that out here. Cut this guy out, and then I'll weld a little small bar across, make it nice and square, so it snaps in. And then I cannot run this. I forgot that it's going to have to be boost regulated. So I'm going to take this off, and you see my throttle is buried back there. I'm going to take this off, see if it bypasses, and then I'll do a flat plate, and then probably weld a bracket to hold this guy on, because it's in nice alignment right there. If you look and see. I got to redo this return line because I have to put in the boost regulated fuel pressure. I forgot about it because I'm a dummy. I mean, it runs now, but under boost, as the boost gets higher, the fuel pressure goes lower because, you know, if you're running at 35 and you put it under pressure, say 7 pounds, then that means your fuel pressure is now down to 28. And we want it to be up at like 45 all the time. So that'll give me the ability to adjust the fuel pressure instead of using the stock one, and possibly a mounting spot for my throttle. And then the other thing we want to do today is these little guys came in. So we're gonna see if we can index those so they're facing down a little bit, because straight out like that isn't gonna work. And then that goes back to the transmission. I got all the parts for that, so it looks like we got a good bit of work for us today. Throttle, fuel pressure, transmission. And then we should be able to, and then I've got to adjust this because I did get a little tight on that. But I think I can just bend it down just a little bit and it'll be fine. So we're gonna try that. I tried to leave some space, but it just didn't work out. But, you know, I need to be better. I need to be a better fabricator instead of a broadsword. It's more of like a steak knife. You can never be a scalpel, but broadsword. All right, well, we've got water leak patched. We've got our transmission lines complete. Our fuel pressure sensor was eliminated and we added the fuel pressure gauge. I might put that back in because I did fix the wiring. Discovered another wire that was an anomaly. When I say fix the wiring, I don't mean this wiring. I mean the wiring going to that. We got the fan set up on DP5, I think. So it should be controlled by the computer. I put these in as spares just in case. And what else do we do? We've been working pretty hard. Oh, alternator wired and working. Gave me a little bit of a square, gave out a puff of smoke and quit working, and then came back. So I think there might have got some garbage or something in there. But she's a worker. So now, today, we are going to weld this guy. We got it smoothed out and all set in, so it's going to be nice and easy, except for I can't weld. And then we're going to put all of our clamps on everything here, except for probably this these two. That way we can take it off, let him tune it, and then tune it with boost, and be easy. As you can see, the list is getting checked off. Blow-off valve, hose clamps, temp to truck. Oh, we might do temp to truck. So we've got a temperature sensor for the gauge inside the truck is right here. And it's one of those wires. I think it's this guy here. So we might, I'll check it with a voltmeter inside and then go from there. So that's where we're at. Yeah, it's coming together. It is day before dyno. Dyno is tomorrow at 1 o'clock. So, oh, we're gonna try and get the bed on today because we're kind of finished back here. I did get a new lid. That one's a little dry rotted. That's how old this truck is, or how long it's been around. New lid from Summit. I got the dipstick. Oh, dipstick's installed, and the transmission dipstick that I lost, I ordered and got replaced. And the dipstick here is installed right here. So I think we're golden. We're really making good progress. The wire is embarrassing right now, but once we get the tuning done and all the wiring is proven, then I'll go in here and shorten each one and then loom it properly. It'll look a lot nicer, but working is what we're looking for right now. Yeah, and that's where we're at. So far, so good. Well, I had it on sawhorses, but you see they got crushed. There's 4 of them there. We're gonna put it on the back today because I think I got all the work done back here. So we'll see how it works. There you go. I'll show you what it looks like when we're done. Well, don't you know it? Get ready to pull it up on the trailer, and the brakes, the rear brakes, the cylinder, master cylinder locked up, so the rear brakes weren't working, and the pedal was right to the top, so it just wouldn't move. It's busted loose now, so at least the front brakes work now, but I'm gonna go see if I can get that replaced. If not, it's just gonna have to go with no rear brakes because I just don't have time. 1 o'clock is coming fast. Yeah, I still got to get a radiator cap. I'm headed to the store now, get a radiator cap, and just button up a couple other things. I need to clean it out a little bit so it's not nasty inside. Put these wheels back on. I was troubleshooting brakes, and get it on the trailer and head down. So letting you know where we're at. It's going to be a good day. Well, as you see, there's something missing. Oh, there it is. Got her all loaded up on the trailer, heading to the dyno session. Hopefully it goes smooth. I just two-strapped it. It's a short trip. Oh, need to close that up. So I'll pick up where when we get there. All right, guys. Had to replace the alternator at the tuners. He did a bunch of work on it out here on the trailer. Then I had to replace the alternator. You can see it's a new one. Now he's running lost my time spot, so he's working on a Honda. And then after that, he's gonna come and look some more at mine. I'm reinstalling this. Coolant temp sensor's working. Air temp sensor's working. RPM, all the gauges, so the sensors are working. Oil, even the oil pressure, I don't think he has it here, but it's working now. Got it idling nice and smooth. It's locked out right now because we might have a problem with the old MSD box. All right, well, I got this all cleaned up. Swapped a couple things out from the old grill. Surrounds are fixed. I had to do some straightening. I didn't know it was a little crooked. The valence panel, I had to do some straightening, and unfortunately, some exposed metal, so I wanted to paint it to keep the rust down. It'll be fine. It'll look bad, but we'll get her fixed. A brand new bumper. I was going to stop in Lenexa, Kansas and grab a bumper. However, they were out of stock. I got this from Summit. I ordered it on Saturday, maybe Monday, and no, I'm sorry. Anyway, it was like 2 days to get here. Little Finn, little Finn's running around. Little Finn's running around with his pig ear. So we're gonna get that stuff put on, but also got the new master cylinder painted with brake caliper paint. So that's what we're gonna try and get on tonight. Get that guy on and bleed it out a little bit, and maybe put a couple things on tonight. So that's what we're doing. And little Finn thinks he's got a treasure, but he's just hanging out with me tonight. All right, I'll keep you guys up to date. Well, that's the lower valence and the bumper on. Not bad. It laid in there pretty good. It's a little bit, got an upward angle here. And then of course the black stuff, but I laid in pretty good. It's smooth here, sticks out a little bit. And then over here it's the same, sticks out just a little bit, but it's smooth here. So it's just an old truck, man. It's 69, so 31 plus 24, 55 years old. So I'm gonna hold off on the grill because I want to get the master cylinder in. So I'm gonna do the master cylinder tonight. See if I can. I got this thing from Harbor Freight. This guy, I never used it. So I might do some sucky on that. See if that works. If not, then I got a couple people here. My buddies spent the night. Look at that. But he doesn't quite have the stamina I do. I was 14 and a half wobble pops, and now I'm drinking a coffee and out here working, because that's how you get stuff done. Late nights, great builds. That's how you get ahead. Still, in the back of my mind, that ECU thing is bothering me, but you know, you have to keep pushing on, and then when the time comes to solve a problem, it's the time to solve the problem. So right now, I put that master cylinder in. I don't know if I showed you. I got this painted with some caliper paint. Well, guys, yeah, beat myself up with the Haltech. Tuner came by the house. He lives near, so it was very nice of him to take time out and do that after his full day of work. You can see as dark as not everything out there. Was able to get farther than Haltech was on the ECU. The ECU has to be sent back. It's bad. However, he was able to get into it enough to put his tune in, fine-tune it a little bit, calibrate the throttle body, and we can go down the road and stuff in this. It's got some amount of auto learning, and it seemed to do fine going around the block, but there's only so much you can expect. I mean, we can't do a whole lot of testing. You can't put it on the dyno to do up and downs or anything like that. So she's running her drive, and she's coming down to cruising the coast. I was at the point of not bringing it because it was not running, and that ECU was the problem, and still is, by the way. However, you probably should notice, got the grill on, all the lights work, got the latch properly installed. We have an overheating issue, which probably just I'll figure it out. It's something simple. Doesn't help that it's cool up here and it's still overheating, but yeah, we'll get her out tomorrow, give her a wash, and maybe that's why she doesn't want to cooperate. Maybe she's a little dirty and feels bad about it. So we'll give her a washing and clean it up inside, windows and stuff. All the lights work, so we're good there. I got it on a maintenance charge for the battery, but the alternator's charging, so everything seems to be coming together nicely. I'm very happy. For some reason the fuel sending unit didn't want to act right, but we just eliminated that from the equation. So I might sit in the parking lot down there in Mississippi and tidy up some of these wires. I'll take the stuff to do it just in case. But yeah, super happy. Tuner, man, I'm glad there's smarter people in this world than I am, because I was frustrated with it. So anyway, yo buddy, we're happy. Well, that's that. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.